to the Burhan Felix Sports Hall here in Üsküdar in Istanbul for the final of the CV Champions League 2013. It is Vakifbank from Istanbul up against Rabita Baku. It is a rematch of the 2011 final in this competition, with Vakifbank the champions 2 years ago. Turkish dominance looks set to continue this year, with many people tipping Vakifbank to be the champions once again, but it is a side of distinct unpredictability that lies in their path if this man is to see his girls crowned victorious once again. Plenty of pressure on both teams, but one has to say that it is the team from the host nation that has more pressure on them. 35 wins in a row they clocked up by winning that semi-final up against Galatasaray yesterday, and Bakasevic is expected to play an integral part in their push to try and make it 36. Abondanza will be hoping that his charges can put together some consistency. They were woefully inconsistent up against Busto Arsizio, having dominated the first 2 sets yesterday. They then allowed their Italian rivals back into it before coming through handsomely in the end in the breaker. Well, there is the squad that Rabita have at their disposal. A hugely international flavour to it, but plenty of talent as well. I'm Jonathan Harris-Bass. Sitting alongside me I have Rob Hatch. And Rob, this is building up nicely. The atmosphere here is feeling very good. All of the Busto Arsizio supporters are now donned in yellow Vakifbank t-shirts, and they are the favourites, but can you see Rabita forcing them, I don't know, into anything more than straight sets?
I certainly can. Rabita are, I would have to say, the strongest squad in the tournament, given the fact that they can spend more money. They have brought in one of the top coaches in the game, although it has to be said that all 4 of the Italian coaches of the final 4 teams here are of a very, very high level, nonetheless, than Giovanni Guidetti, who's highly respected both here in Istanbul and around the world. Coaches Germany, remember, at international level. He gets on so well with these supporters. But the team he's up against today presents a real threat, I think, to that wonderful record you were alluding to of 35 competitive matches. The thing that Vakifbank have in their favour is the fact that they're a unit that's been together for a few years now. They add maybe 1 or 2 players during each summer and each off-season, but it's the same cohesion that stays with them, the same team spirit, and they've brought that all the way through. And as you mentioned, they're in the 2nd Champions League final in 3 years.
Well, that's the same for both teams, of course, but it is a very different lineup that will take to the court for Rabita than it did a couple of years ago. However, it is going to be very interesting to see just what Rabita can throw at their opposition, because yesterday I don't think there's really any argument that Madeleine Montaño of Colombia was the outstanding player of the day, and she certainly, you would think, Rob, has got to be the player that's going to be targeted by Vakifbank. They've got to shut her out if they're to stand a chance.
Well, Montaño's a wonderful player to watch. She's so aesthetic in the way she leaps, and apart from that, she's extremely aesthetic, and of course she's extremely effective, I should say. 43 points yesterday, well over 50% in attack. I think it was something in the 60s in the end, the statistics. So strong and so flexible. It doesn't even have to be the perfect set for her. She's so good that she can make an average ball into a very, very good one. She's not too heavy or thickly set to really manoeuvres herself around the court as well. And I mentioned that spring she has really helps her game. Vakifbank have some top players in the wall, no question about that. The fact that Christiana Furst is going to have to be at the top of her game, I think, if she's to stop the Colombian.
Well, you just look at the talent on both sides of the net. Jizim Göransson, the outstanding libero of this tournament so far, in her 4th season back with Vakifbank after playing for Galatasaray. She started her career with this club, of course, back in 2002. Christiane Furst, German international, 27 years of age, one of the taller players on the Vakifbank team. And Jovana Bakasevic of Serbia, 24 years of age, one of the players that was added to the lineup in the off-season. Naz has also been added. She has an important role to play. The Turkish international was off her game yesterday, which in fact demonstrates just how strong Vakifbank are, that they can afford for their setter to be off form and still come through in straight sets. Up the other end of the court, though, you've got the American international, Akin Raduo. You've got Montano, we've already mentioned, Kuzmanovic of Serbia, Skorupa, arguably the best setter we've seen in this tournament so far, the Polish international, Rabita of Bulgaria, and also Brenda Castillo, the Dominican Republic libero, who was right on her game yesterday.
Oh, she was in outstanding form, Castillo, I thought. There, first to every ball. Such a good reader of the match tactically as well. She shouts the instructions, she barks at her teammates to get into the right place and really directs the play in a manner you'd expect a setter to do a lot of the time.
So it is the quiet before the storm here. The Vakifbank fans trying to generate as much noise as possible. We've got a small smattering of fans with flags from Azerbaijan and Rabita. However, one imagines that they'll be largely silenced by the majority of this 4,500 crowd. Not as full as it was for yesterday's Istanbul derby, but it's still a very good showing here.
It certainly is. Cannot wait for this. There's so much excitement, the tension, the drama's building up as well. It is the final of the Champions League, and of course, it's been a long, long way since we set out in October. We're finally here, and John, I just cannot wait for the first serve.
Well, the teams, both squads introduced now to the fans here, along with our refereeing duo. Vakifbank and Rabita BAKU then, the two sides that will decide who are the European champions in 2013. The customary shake of hands between the two teams at the net. So now time for the referees to be introduced to the crowd as they both make their way out. Susana Rodriguez of Spain and Goran Gradinsky of Serbia are two officials for this Champions League final.
Well, it's good to see both young officials getting a big game, both highly rated in Europe and, of course, on the FIVB circuit, which is the uniform they'll wear today.
So the two referees take their posts. And now time for the introduction of the teams. They all just want to get on with it. So Dobriana Rabita of Bulgaria, the first to take to the court, joined by Katarzyna Skorupa of Poland. Natalia Kuzmanovic of Serbia is next out there, and then the star player from yesterday, Mariana Montano of Colombia, Oria Cruz of Puerto Rico, and they are joined by Foluke Akin Raduo of the United States of America, Brenda Castillo of the Dominican Republic, their libero. So the starting six announced for the underdogs and the visitors, it has to be said as well. Now time to meet the team from Istanbul. Gozda, the skipper, first out onto court, joined by Jovana Brakosevic of Serbia, Malgorzata Glinka of Poland, a hugely experienced Polish international. Next out, Baha Toksoy, Christian Fust, Naz Saidama, the setter, And Gizem Guresen, the libero, just 25 years of age.
Well, looks a really, really good lineup for Rabita BAKU. Look at Akim Radowo, who was superb yesterday. Brenda Castillo's already said as libero, with those defensive plays, is going to be so, so crucial. And of course, it's a battle of the setters. Naz versus Skorupa, who will come out on top. Both had excellent games yesterday. And one more point I'd like to make, of course, Brakocevic in the opposite, such an important player, but Christiana Forst and Glinka are going to be so, so important in dealing with what comes at them today. We know that Gusta always leads by a good, strong captain's example.
Yep, Gusta's going to be the first to have the ball in her hands to get us underway. Glinka had a quiet game yesterday. She's due a big performance. Gizem comes out onto the court. The ball comes into play, so the waiting is over. Over the course of the next 3 to 5 sets, we're going to discover who rules Europe for the next 12 months. Guzda with the foul serve first up, not the perfect start.
That's certainly not what she wanted to do. She's experienced enough to forget about it though. She's been around a long, long time. Extremely high spike reach for somebody who measured just 1.83 m. She's up there at 3.07 m.
Decent set, and well, a regulation point, that one. And that'll allow the Vakifbank players to relax. Specifically, will allow the possibility there to relax for Baha Toksoy as she gets her first spike into the deck.
Baha's come into the team recently, she's looked good.
Castillo, and decent set for Akim Radowo. Skorupa right on point with her early sets. So much could depend on the Montano serve. Aurea Cruz served pretty well yesterday. Dug out by Gizem, not the best from her, but Glinka's in. Aurea Cruz underneath it. Skorupa with the shallow set for Akim Radowo. It wasn't a great set on that occasion. It wasn't actually a clever play going through the middle because there were already 2 blockers there.
It was all a bit bitty and scrappy, and you can tell by the coach's reaction out of the screen it's not what he wanted to see. I don't think Akim Radowo was quite expecting the ball where she was put it.
That was a chance, the first chance we've seen. It's Brakocevic on serve. Really well dug out by Cruz, but the pressure's on Montano with that enormous spring of hers coming from the back line, and again doesn't get it to dip inside the baseline though. And so just long.
Both sides feeling their way into the match here. Montano expect her to be set the ball on numerous occasions today. The key player, the opposite.
Could be a straight shootout between Brakocevic and Montano. Double touch. Susana Rodriguez not prepared to take anything at all from the likes of Naz. Now Naz does have a temper on her as the setter, and she does remonstrate with referees quite regularly. She's cost her teams in the past points for doing so. Akin Radowo with the glasses off. Dug out well by Gozda. Sets beautifully for first spike.
Yeah, she's a player that's really well liked in these spots. Christiana Forst, she's made a home here over the last few years. She also played for Fenerbahce, remember. But firmly a Vakifbank legend now.
Aurea Cruz underneath this one. Skorupa sets back for Montano. Half blocked. They've dealt with that so far. The Montano threat very well indeed. Brakocevic tries to inflict some pressure. Spike from Kuzmanovic doesn't find its mark either. Brilliantly kept alive. And Gozda watched it all the way and then let it go wide. 2 points difference the first time in the match. It's gone the way of Vakifbank.
Big point. Gozda watched it all the way. Great play again by Castillo. It was well cheered on from the bench. Again, I think the two liberi are going to be so important today.
Glinka. Foul serve. Second one that we've seen from players in the black shirts of Vakifbank so far. Turn of the Polish setter, Skorupa. Decides to go for Glinka. Gozda. Take down from Castillo, but it's only just strayed over the net, so Naz goes for the reverse set, brilliantly to Forst.
It's down beautifully, Christiane Forst. Again, already proving that she's going to be an important player. Tough to predict, I know. Many of you have been writing in on Twitter and asking for predictions, asking what you think's going to happen. It is so hard. I'm going with Vakifbank on this one. They've started well, they've started strong, but there's going to be plenty of movement along the way.
Skorupa sets to Rabita for the first time. Unable to do anything but just touch it over. Skorupa underneath it. Castillo sets. Montano from that opposite side. Dug out well. First behind that one. And now Gozda with the chance. And it's blocked out. So a 3-point advantage. 7-4. Abondanza looks on. Doesn't look too concerned at this stage. Hasn't reached for that timeout yet.
Remember, another Champions League final for him. We saw him last year with Villa Cortese in the Final Four. Proved that he's a coach that does his work well.
Not the greatest of receptions from Rabita. As a consequence, Aurea Cruz can just roll the ball back into play. Naz with the set for Brakasevic, brilliantly dug out by Skorupa this time. Castillo goes across to Montano. Mistimed a jump. Naz through the middle for Glinka. Gets the touch. Off Castillo, first technical timeout as a consequence, 4 points the difference, and Vakifbank looking very solid indeed.
Well, they are. They'll want a bit of revenge here as well. Those of you will remember the World Club Championship final a couple of years ago. Yes, it was a slightly different Rabita BAKU team. There was no Abondanza. He hadn't brought the likes of Cruz across from Villa Cortese with him. But that was an absolute horror show for Vakifbank. They were beaten 3-0 in the final in Qatar in Doha. That's after they destroyed all the opposition on the way too. They've beaten the Brazilians. They've gotten so good. So they'll remain remembered on that. And there's quite a few players that were in that team then that are here still today. I mentioned the fact that Vakifbank had managed to keep a decent unit together, a decent core to the team. It's the same coach. We've got the likes of Forst and of course Guzde still here. Gizam was in the team as well then. You can run down the list and reel off several names. They will want revenge today. And they've pressed the accelerator pedal nice and early on here. First blood, I think, in that first session to Guidetti's girls.
Well, no doubting that. It is 8-4, and it's Christiane Forst, or Firsty, as she's commonly known by her teammates. Deep serve, but too deep. Rabita fans trying to just conjure up a bit of atmosphere for their team now. Serve reins in on Glinka again. She seems to be the target on reception. Gozda goes cross court. Brenda Castillo's underneath it again. Whistler gone.
Just a little net touch there. Here we go again on the way down from Montano, who's a little sloppy.
Well, that is very fortunate indeed. Aurea Cruz with the reception that went wrong and no one there to defend it.
I was going to say, it's extremely sloppy on the reception, but they've got lucky. Deary me. One to forget for Naz and Glinka.
Well, Brakasevic will also question whether she should have gone for it as Krizmanovic serves. Set by Naz. Not the best of sets, but beautifully guided home by Gozda. Intelligent play from the skipper there. Saw that there was a big open space at the back of the court. Maintains the advantage here. Atmosphere continuing to build as we move back to where we were on serve. Gozda started the match. Now she's back at the service line. Chance here. Brakasevic. Good takedown from Rabita, but it gives another opportunity and hitting from the back line. Unbelievable power generated.
Great patience as well there. No panic as soon as the ball came over. They made sure they got Naz into position. She put the ball up on a plate, and look at this. Guzde flying from the backcourt. So much power.
Timeout taken by Abodanta as a consequence, and it means that it's 11 points to 6 to Vakifbank at the moment. 5-point advantage. You can see this team just don't really know what it is like to lose.
That's that mentality that brought them through the difficult moments yesterday, I think, at the start of the match when Galatasaray were pushed on by their fans, and in one of those bizarre periods where they seemed to be a really good side before they hit the inconsistencies. And Vakifbank just took deep. Same happened against Eczacıbaşı in the Istanbul derby they played in the quarterfinals. For them it'll be refreshing to play somebody from abroad, I think.
Yeah, they've played Eczacıbaşı 2 years in a row now at the quarter-final stage. Aurea Cruz. Skorupa had to get that back to Cruz. Did she get a touch? The answer is yes.
Well, such an important point there for Rabita. Back to within 4. Of course, if Vakifbank are going to go 6 ahead there, it's good night as far as the first set's concerned.
So Montano on serve. Didn't get off to a great start earlier. What can she do now? It's another really good dig. This one from Gozda. Glinka in. Far too much power on that. 12 points to 7. Good shallow set for first again. That's worked well for them so far. Prakasevic. Serve goes deep. Aurea Cruz. Glinka rose at the net. Unable to put it away, but she got another chance now. Makes it. Cross court.
Important that. Just to get the pressure up.
Yeah, they really are dominating at the moment. 2 points for Vakifbank. Will be into the second technical timeout. Increase their lead out to 6 at the moment. Another serve from Prakasevic. Take down from Aurea Cruz. Set by Skorupa. Montano. Was there a touch? The answer is yes, and there needed to be. Montano has not really figured much in the opening exchanges here. Certainly not as dominant as she was yesterday.
Oh, they're not getting the same amount of chances, of course. Mentioned yesterday, for those of you who watched any of our coverage of Vakifbank this year, they are primarily extremely solid defensively.
Bump set this time from Naz. Gozda from the back line. Montano now from that back line, and somehow kept alive by Gozda, but Gizem couldn't quite get across to it. But still, the commitment that the captain shows spurs her teammates on at all times.
Unable to change things around there. This is better for Rabita though, much better.
Hakan Radowo. Gizem underneath it. Glinka. Block is wide.
So lucky as well. It was close to brushing her on the other way. You can see why Skorupa's unhappy. Thought she had it. Glinka trying to get out the way and does so well.
Sayori Kimura on as a specialist server and does her job as first punches it away. Second technical, 6 points the difference. It really is a long way back in this set for Rabita. They just haven't been able to claw their way back. They were 4 down at the first technical. And they find that lead has been extended by their opponents, who are right on the money at the moment.
Certainly are. Vakifbank starting as you'd expect them to do so. A little wobble as Rabita started to perhaps try and put one foot down and calm down. The difference is out to 6, and only a disaster really would see them lose this first set.
Well, we've seen stranger things in this Final Four so far. Both Italian coaches incredibly animated during this technical timeout.
Both having to converse in English as well. Remember the cosmopolitan and international makeup of both teams. I think we mentioned yesterday that in the Rabita squad there are 12 different nationalities. It's a mixture of Italian and English for Abbondanza. Guidetti certainly fluent in English. He's chose that as his language here in Turkey. He's been here a few years. His Turkish isn't too good, I'm told.
Probably not as good as yours, Rob. Seri Kimuras serves. Montagno had to just guide that one over the net. Gosda does the same. Rabajeva's back. Skorupa for Montagno. Goes deep but long. Really good judgment from Seo Kimura at the back, and Angelina Grünhubner is being called for early.
Just you mentioned Saori Kimura, there are quite a few Japanese fans here today. The supporter on a few banners. Japanese television's brought an entourage of quite a few people.
Izem underneath that. Good chance. Comes back to Gosda. Goes down the line, but wide.
Big miss that from Gosda. Superb chance to extend the lead, but of course she can afford a smile about it. Still 6 points the difference. No worries for her. Now setting up nicely, but it was well guarded and well marshalled, that line. By Montagno.
Great serve. Here's a chance for Rabita to get one back, perhaps. Montagno sprung up. It wasn't a good set from Castillo. This time Montagno finds her mark. First time she's had a clean kill.
Well, she needs more of that. Needs the confidence. Just mentioned that hefty points total yesterday, 43. That was all the headlines were about after yesterday's action. Consistency of being brave in attack. That's what they need.
Put away by Fust on the outside loop. The defence should have been across to that. Kuzmanovic is angry. Montagno just stepping in. Fust has had an excellent first set.
She's been strong. Big game player as well.
So Guldenise comes on for Fust.
It's a useful server, Guldenise. Usually in the subs box.
Dug out by Cruz, and then the kill is there. Kuzmanovic makes it, and the serve finds its way into the hands of Rabajeva. Bulgarian attacks Gizem. And then Gosda goes down the line. This time she doesn't miss her target.
Well, the lead's holding now. Rabita BAKU finally started to get into the game inside out. But they need to do more than that, hence the reason they've called for their second time out here.
Well, Abbondanza, sensible to use this because we may as well.
Something needs, I mean, there's no question hanging on to say they were 2 points down for 23-21 or something like that. They're 6 down and they need a bit of a sea change here.
That 6 points difference has been in effect ever since the second technical timeout. I wonder whether he's thinking about the possibility of employing the services of Irina Zhukova, the Ukrainian setter. Although you'd have to say that so far Katarzyna Skorupa of Poland has done her job, as has Naz. Serving in at Aurea Cruz, and then Kuzmanovic with the touch over the net. Gozda's not going to make that. Montano gets the touch. Seori Kimura sends it across to Brakasevic down the line. Brilliant from the Serbian.
Well, that is a typical opposites invention of a point from nowhere. Not a great pass. Okay to say that it was from a difficult position, but she's had to turn round, take it going away from her, and smash it down the line.
Well, Jovana Brakasevic, I would say, rapidly moving towards being the MVP for the tournament. Should Vakifbank walk away with the title? Half a block there.
Couple of changes on the way for Rabita. Femenina's going to come on. Goes Rabajieva, Bulgarian, was coached by Abundanza at international level.
Seori Kimura underneath that serve, and Gozda comes in. That's good defence. Now the Kuzmanovic serve. Just need a run on the serve. Half a block, but no one's at black of the court. No libero on the court either, so Brenda Castillo now returns, but 6 points the difference.
Same old story as Kimura goes off. Vakifbank, again, when they're not adding to the score, they're defending, they're siding up, and the lead remains 6.
Gozda in at Cruz, set by Skorupa, and Akin Radowo, who featured heavily in the early exchanges, hasn't done so much recently. Sticks it away. Starovic and Zukova make their way up to the bench. What can Montano do on serve? Big serve again. Gizem is underneath it. Brakasevic half through. Brenda Castillo to Skorupa, and Akin Radowo tries to put it away, unable to do so. Naz to Brakasevic again. Great dig at the back of the court. Femina there, and then just off the back line from Aurea Cruz.
Springboard, something to cling on to, and it's just about the right time if they want to do something here in this set. No surprise now to see Giovanni Guidetti trying to calm things down, taking the sting out of it. Call timeout, we'll have a sit down, and I'm afraid we'll nip that momentum in the bud.
4 points is the difference. Guidetti decides he doesn't want to see that down to 3.
Well, differing opinions for the coaches. Guidetti will be overall pleased, I think, with what he's seen. He knows that his side has the better mentality. Certainly Abundanza has assembled a squad of great talent. Vakifbank showing that they're the better team, though, at the moment. Wild from Montano.
Well, she has a tendency to be erratic, certainly. Change back with Guldenese coming back, being replaced once again by Fust, and Melis coming on for the first time in place of Baha.
Well, Melis can serve. A valued squad member. This team that's won all 18 matches of the Turkish League this year, top of the table.
Set from Naz. Brakasevic manages to force it through the block that time.
For me, that's the one that forces home the first set. 2 points away. But a big side out at a huge moment there. Reasserting their authority. Brakasevic, not the cleanest to gain the ball, slightly going away from her. Not perfect control by Naz.
Good serve in Castillo, and it's an ace. Melis producing the goods, as you said she would, Rob. Great from the service line, 2 in a row, and it is set points, 7 of them to Vakifbank.
Well done, Guidetti, bringing in Melis. Even a libero couldn't cope with that.
Castillo touched over, trying to kill it on two, Skorupa, but it should be a good chance this for Brakasevic, and it's all over. Opening set, 25-17, very comfortable. You have to feel that there is some work for Abundanza to get through here in between sets, because at present, Rabita really don't look as though they're going to be that competitive.
Well, 25-17, this is the recent bit of what we've seen. Again, a little scrap. It's a good rescue from Naz. Credit to forced out wide, who set up Brakasevic beautifully with a reverse pass. And Brakasevic, I want to say she's been the difference between the teams, but it's not just been her. There's been organisation, there's been a real strong mentality about what Vakifbank have done. And Rabita BAKU really need a big improvement in just about every area of the play, both mentally, physically, and of course mechanically in what they put together. It has been excellent so far from Vakifbank, and unless something changes pretty rapidly in the second set, then the match is going to suddenly look fairly weighted towards the Istanbul Giants.
Well, said it yesterday when Galatasaray were playing against them, said it when Bustard Zizio were playing against Rabita BAKU. You need pressure, you need to stay with your opponents, and you cannot afford them to get any form of lead. You just look at the differences in points. The first technical, 8-4, already a 4 points difference. You're not coming back from that, not against a team like Vakifbank. You need to be at 8-7 minimum. You need to be at 16-14, 16-15 minimum, because you can't give them these opportunities to have massive points advantages, because they'll close it out very comfortably, and that is exactly what they've done in that first set. Hopefully get a chance to take a look at some of the statistics in just a few moments' time. So there we go, 20 attacks from Vakifbank to just 10 from Rabita. 3 more errors, 1 block each. So the players set for the second set, of vital importance, the start of this set for Rabita. Not so much for Vakifbank.
I'm looking for a different, clear, visible change from Rabita. On it from the off, keeping parity, and trying to win points off their serve. That's where they lacked in the first half. Vakifbank definitely able to just add to the score at will, really.
Ball comes out. It's going to be Skorupa to serve first. Skorupa in it. Gizem. Glinka. So much power on the spike. Even though there was a touch on it, that ball went way beyond the baseline.
I said I was looking for a change. Look at how easy it was to slide out straight away. No test in defense. It's going to be Bahar Tuksoy now likes to surf from way back beside the advertising hoardings.
Skorupa. Sets, and through the middle goes Rabacheva. So a simple side out for Rabita.
More of that they need. Then of course they need to bring their game in attack.
Foul service though.
Rabacheva trying to serve tough. But again, it's such a fine game of overstepping the margins perhaps. You can't serve just in anywhere because that's too easy, but you have to try and serve tough. And again, if you overstep it slightly, that's what happens.
Brakasevic misses with her serve though. Jovana Brakasevic, outstanding for Serbia for the last few years. One of the reasons that they've ended up as the team to beat in Europe, really. Set from Naz, and Furs just changed her mind at the last minute and guided it over the net, and it was a clever play.
Certainly was. They don't just play with power, but plenty of intelligence as well. And it comes with the understanding of having played together for such a long time.
Klinker. Well, it looked as though it was probably going long, but Rabita decided to go for it anyway, and Akinradova was all over it in the net. So they're keeping pace at the moment, 3 points apiece.
Nice move. They found the only fissure in the wall. It was there, I think. Straight through the middle of the two blockers from Akinradova.
Montagno's serve again is relatively easily dealt with, and again Furs just touches it over the net perfectly.
Star of the show so far, Chris Fust.
Well, Guidetti is right over having a conversation about this.
I think he was happy about the time it took to organise this. His team had the momentum, of course. He doesn't want this to stop. Some sarcastic applause that wasn't required from Gizem as well. Stands anyway. Let's see if the interruption affects them.
First on serve. Vakifbank leading 4-3. Set by Skorupa across to Area Cruz, and she gets the spike away this time. Definitely more about Rabita so far in this set, and they're more competitive.
Well, this is where it went wrong for them in the first set. Up by a few points, suddenly switched around, and again once the Vakifbank momentum got going, it was hard to stop it. They need to keep pace here and ask questions of the opposition.
Gizem, Naz, that's long. Gosdep felt that there might have been a touch on the way through. Has a right grin on her face.
Let's have a look. Certainly spin on the ball. Need a better replay than that, I'm afraid.
Area Cruz serves again. That's an ace. Terrible judgment from Brakacevic.
Well, even Guidetti was pointing in there. Looks silly. Perhaps wanted to point out the error more to his girls. It's a bit of clever coaching. That's certainly this early on in the set, where there's nothing too much to play for. Points in and says, "Get on with it, girls. That was rubbish."
And it was. Float serve. Naz sets. This time put away.
Squeezed it through. Decent presence in the block again. We've seen a slight improvement from Rabita. Akinradova with a good reach.
Naz dug out by Rabita. Well dug by Naz on that occasion, and Brakacevic. But there's a touch on the net.
No argument from the Azeri team. Skorupa looks to the heavens, and that's obviously, in fact, it was a teammate, Akinradova, who touched the net.
Akinradova's hair touching it. Can she make up for it? The answer is yes.
That's better for the American. Who seemed very up for this game. She was tweeting away before the match.
Set by Naz. Brakacevic can't put this one away. Naz sets again, this time to Gosda. Dug out well by Montagno, who's had to spend more of her time on the floor than she has spiking. However, it doesn't matter because Rabita manages to tuck that away, and we're into the first technical of this second set, and Rabita have just squeezed themselves out in front, 8-6.
Well, that bit of character we've just seen from Rabita BAKU. They were put under pressure for Vakifbank for the first time. They managed to bring out the lead again though. Good response to having a lead erased early doors. And I've liked what I've seen. Again, surely I don't think it's the best volleyball that they can produce or are capable potentially of producing. I think you probably need another season of this same group together to see that happen. And of course, more tests domestically in the Azeri League.
Well, Skorupa is receiving a little bit of treatment there.
I don't want to lose her after a good effort yesterday. But they made life hard for themselves after storming into the lead against Costa Arzizio.
Hakim Radowo on serve, 8-6. Glinka underneath it. Now sets for Gozda, can only touch that one over. Skorupa. Montagno with the leap. Just goes wide though. It really isn't going for the Colombian at the moment.
It's that consistency again of hits. It was well guarded, that line there. Gazam was going to get to anything that was straight down it. And the block having failed.
Skorupa manages to set that one through to Rabita. Brilliantly done by her. Turn over the net. And they have the point.
Clumsy, clumsy, clumsy play from Rabita at the net. Again, take it as a great save from Gizam. There's the touch. Poor, poor, poor. Even if that ball comes back over there, Castillo can pick it up and they can attack again. No need to touch the net. So
An
reckless.
Extraordinary decision. Back to 8-all. Gozda. And that wasn't well said either. Cross court, sliding off the block, and Brakajevic moves them into the lead.
3 on the spin, big sea change, big momentum change. Abbondanza, the 42-year-old coach from Cesena in Italy, has seen enough. Time out.
So as the timeout comes to an end here, I wonder what Abbondanza was saying to his charges. They started far more brightly in this set. However, they still find themselves behind. Rabita with the reception and now with the spike and slides off the block herself. Heavily strapped hands of Brakajevic taking some punishment there.
That shows the timeout works. It did its job. Vakifbank have shown that once they get their noses in front, they can accelerate away rather easily. Got to make it nervous. They've got to get to the 20s.
9 points apiece. Gizem, Naz, but no way that Gozda could attack that from behind the line. Montagno can. Touched over again from Bahar Toksoi. And Toksoi makes the block there.
Brilliant from Bahar Toksoi. Absolutely brilliant. So key in the early part of the play as well. Just kept it going, saved the poor reception. But look at this, all alone in the block. She's up against some extremely powerful play. And she's quite slight for a tall girl as well. Really held her hands strong.
Well, no right to win that point, but she has managed to do so. And then a messy reception. Aurea Cruz goes into the net. It's 2 on the bounce, and it's a 2-point advantage for Vakifbank for the first time in the set.
Aurea Cruz was brought in from Villa Cortese by Abbondanza because he knew he could trust her. That's just a big, big failure. Yes, it's difficult. Got to go around 3-girl wall there. Makes it hard to hit any part of the court. Has to do better though.
Well, that's a relief because that was not an easy bump set for Skorupa. Guidetti angry.
Well, he knows it's still up in the air this second set, that's why. I was saying a moment ago, if Rabita can get them into the early 20s, force them to make a mistake, and it can change quite quickly.
Great set from Naz, switching the direction of attack, and Glinka, who's featured far more prominently today than she did in the semi-finals, finds the floor.
The ball didn't get up in time. Again, much thanks to the vision of Naz to change the angle of attack.
Massive block from Fust and Naz. It's now a 3-point advantage now. Abondanza has used up one of his timeouts. He doesn't want to use another now. Brenda Castillo can't dig it out.
Guidetti punching the air out of your picture there. Knows how important it was. 3 points here.
Brakacevic goes long, but the advantage is firmly with Vakif again.
It's been a good swing from 2 down to 2 up. Rabita just look a little lost once more. Not long before we see Saori Kimura.
Naz kills it on 2.
She liked that as well. Huge broad grin on her face. Having a good game. Fair to say there aren't many for Vakifbank who aren't. This is another solid performance. And the team that, believe it or not, hasn't won the Turkish Championship for quite a few years now. Always been pipped to the post in the playoffs by Zacıbaşı or Fenerbahçe. They're top of the league going into the playoffs this year. They're looking to carry it through.
Lovely serve from Saori Kimura, then Skorupa goes to Montagno, and this time she does find it.
Going back to Vakifbank, they could do the treble this year, as I said yesterday. Already won the cup. That's a nice placement. Not easy as well. It was well blocked off that line, certainly at the net.
Montagno, that's a big serve. Kimura, poor on reception. 1 point the difference again.
Just hit her on the other upper body, didn't really dip at all. It was quite flat trajectory.
It's another big serve. And although Gizem was underneath it, has she done enough to win the point here? Brakacevic has to get across, and then great loop run from Fust. And the perfect set from Naz. That is really stealing a point that they didn't look like they were going to win.
Oh, it's clever from Christiana Forcius. Outside cuts the ball here, takes the pace off it. Nice.
Well, plenty of congratulations on the bench for the libero. A world of pain for her opposite number. Fust serves in. It's poor reception for a rare Cruz, and Castillo just keeps that alive. Cruz manages to hit off the block.
Well, they're hanging in there. Again, I mentioned character early on from Rabita. What's keeping their fans going behind us? The Azeri flags waving. Now disappointed.
Cruz pushes a serve long, so we come in for the second technical. 2 points to difference. Vakifbank have the advantage, but it is a slender advantage, and I said Rabita needed to be competitive. And I think 16-14 is okay for them at this stage. They do need a big effort, and they need some big runs in the concluding part of the set, but it's 16-14 as things stand to Vakifbank.
Vakifbank well in control, looking good. It's all about the details there here. Two top teams in world volleyball, some of the best players on the planet collected. Second technical with Vakifbank. Not winning the first set on the details, but certainly ahead in this one. We play on, we keep going, says Guidetti.
We did
Won't want to do
see
anything different.
No, but we did see yesterday just how good they are, even when it is a tough, closely fought set up against Galatasaray. Sets 1 and 3, very tense indeed, but this team just don't seem to be able to accept that they're going to do anything other than win.
They have the mental stamina to get through those moments. They had set points against them, of course. Survived them, kept going. There's no real panic.
Somehow kept that alive. Aurea Cruz, second right away with a dummy jump, and Rabita with the spike. Seri Kimura keeps it alive. Gozda helps it on its way. Brenda Castillo. Set down the line, brilliant from Gizem. Gozda guided it in. Another opportunity could present itself here to Rabita, well played.
It was one of those rallies that you thought Vakifbank were going to just get that chance, keep their composure. In the end, Rabita managing to put it home through Rabita. This could be the moment that their match changes.
Set from Naz. Gozda had to readjust herself, but she's managed to do so well enough.
It was good. She was up against it there. The set was dying on her quite quickly. Couldn't take it too high. The only way she was going to get the point was the block out.
Gizem with the takedown. Gozda sits across and Glinka was there. Gizem again. Naz now sets it to Brakacevic. Awesome play from her. They were both expecting at the block a fully fledged spike from Brakacevic, and she just slid it inside.
Rolling out the cut shot when you least expected it, Jonathan. Look at all that. 4 players rushing across the left-hand side, trying to get in the way, make at least a 2-person wall. 2 waiting for the tip. She changed direction and found the space beautifully.
Well, that's a good point for Rabita to get. Just about hang on. It is fingernail stuff at the moment.
Two points here.
Drifts long and is out of 3 again. Hasn't necessarily made too much of a difference since coming on, Sanja Starovic. Dummy jump, Montagno gets across, gets the touch as well. She's figured more prominently in this set, and it's really helped them score more regularly.
She has. It's tight fought here. Still, unless something really changes, just get the feeling that Vakifbank are that bit mentally stronger. They'll dig it out.
Oh, massive spike from Brakacevic, who is just right on point, and as I said earlier, I can't see anyone else picking up the MVP award than her.
Well, she's been a great addition, and she's settled so quickly.
Timeout taken by Rabita, their second one. 3 points to difference, once again, as he did in the first set. No real choice for Rabondanza but to take it now.
Well, how brave is he going to be here? Are we going to see a change of set, or are we going to see a change of personnel? Certainly if not for this set, perhaps for the third. Be interesting now, 3 down. Is it time to experiment? Rabondanza at the moment doesn't seem to be in the business of changing personnel. Certainly Jukova, the reserve setter, is nowhere near looking like getting ready. Perhaps a couple of tactical changes, change who they're serving to. A lot of variables that can be changed.
It's been interesting just looking at it that Glinka has been one of their main targets on serve, and she's been receiving very well indeed, so it does need something changed up. Brakacevic with the big serve, immediately putting pressure on. Cruz was underneath it. Castillo back to Cruz, but she's only going to be able to dink it over the net, which means that Gizem is underneath it. And first round on the loop. Might try that again, this time down the line, and she had plenty of room to aim at.
Superb variation in the Vakifbank play. Again, no panic when the ball comes over. Gizem always the first point of contact, really. Controls. Naz know where she's putting it. And once more, if you don't succeed, try again. Chris, clever enough. People expecting the play across court again. Saw space down the line and took it.
Big serve from Brakacevic. This time went in at Castillo, and Aurea Cruz comes through with a spike. Gizem underneath it. Naz sets, and Brakacevic well blocked. Cruz going up with Kuzmanovic, and Cruz making the difference. Kuzmanovic on the serve. Gizem, oh, that was a poor set from Naz. She hasn't been as consistent as she was for Fenerbahce last year, but she has been consistent in the block. Going up with first and extending the lead to 4 points.
I think that's called the curse of the commentator, Jonathan.
Well, I don't think it is, because I was criticising her setting, not her blocking. And that was a poor set. It was a good block.
Strong character, strong presence, Vakifbank looking good.
Good block there. Castillo underneath it. Skorupa sets and Montano through, but Gizem is there. Naz now sets again, and Gosda goes cross court. Castillo keeps it alive. Rabita. And then Castillo just touching over. First on the loop. Not the best of touches. She somehow managed to keep it in court. Montano. And the block goes down first side, which means point to Rabita. And it's a point back.
Still one on the ropes though. Look how well Vakifbank defend. The set, as you were quite rightly saying a moment ago, just a little wayward. Guidetti wants them in just to have a chat for a moment. It's not a bad idea. They're going well. No need to allow the opposition to put too much momentum or confidence together.
There Montano just finding the gap in between the two jumpers. Three points though, separating Vakifbank from this second set. It's been a far more competitive set, but they've just managed to apply the pressure and pull themselves further in front. Montano serve could make a difference, but not when she goes long. Guidetti with a punch of the fist, and I reckon that was his exact intention as Melis comes on, replacing first. He saw that Montano was the next player with the ball in hand, called the timeout, gave her plenty of time to think about what she was going to do on serve, perhaps too much time, and as a consequence she pushes it long.
Now they need something special here. You know what Melis can do.
Oh, neat touch. Doesn't quite work for her. Glinka.
Vakifbank got away with that somewhat. They were slightly unorganised there. Not their usual set-up defensively. Mistake in the end coming on attack from Montano.
But that's the pressure that they've been applying on Montano. She's being asked to do so much that she's missing now, and she's not showing anywhere near the consistency that we've seen. Aurea Cruz comes off, and it is Angelina Hubner-Grün who comes on. Former German captain, vastly experienced, 34-year-old. But Melis will serve 5 set points to Vakifbank. Skorupa to Grün straight away. That's a decent block. That would have looped into court. Skorupa on the overlap for Akin Radowo. The American makes it count. Christian Fust comes back on for Melis.
No panic here for the host team. 4 set points. Angelina Hübner-Grün is going to have to show her quality. Expect her to take part in the 3rd set, I think.
Her serve is long, so that set is all over. 25-20, the final score. To go with their 25-17 victory from set 1 at the moment. Vakifbank are moving on, unrivaled, towards a 2nd Champions League title.
Well, if we can't Fenerbahce last year, of course, 3 in 3 years for the Turkish league. It's shown the strength that there is here. 28 minutes for that set. Highly fought out. We had a couple of delays with the replay system, what have you, but again, some more images to show that Vakifbank at the moment are the strongest. They deserve their lead, thoroughly deserve it. And I'm afraid, Jonathan, I find it difficult to see a change here.
It is, and it's very, very tough to see a repeat of what we saw from the match earlier on anyway, where Galatasaray came back, or the match yesterday between Rabita and Busto Arsizio. Vakifbank are just too clinical. They don't show any signs of letting up at the moment. They did have a wobble yesterday against Galatasaray in the 3rd set, but they managed to pull it together right at the end to come through in straight sets. Just have this feeling that, well, Rabita, as I said, they are unpredictable, but their unpredictability at the moment, they need to call on the likes of Grün, I think. Well, I'll just have to see whether a change can solicit a change in the scoreline.
Well, again for Vakifbank, it's a relief not to play another Turkish derby, I think, in a match of this importance. No added variables and factors to wonder about. They had Azerbaijan over 2 legs in the quarters. Galatasaray yesterday, they negotiated that after they got to grips with the crowd. These are stats then from that 2nd set. Vakifbank out blocking, making more errors, but again being braver in attack, although Rabita had a couple of aces. All about the Turkish team and their will to play the game that they are so good at. This is what they're playing for. The European Cup being readied. Champions League again at home in Istanbul. It's been a brilliant weekend. Wonderfully organised Final Four. And of course, for the 2nd time in 3 years, Burhan Felek playing host to the Champions League final with the home team, Vakifbank. 1 set away from taking the Champions League title for 2013.
Serve in, Aurea Cruz underneath it. Skorupa sets to Montano, who's got a big role to play if they are going to come back into this. But Glinka cross court, and Castillo, that's going to go wide. And the first point is Vakifbank's.
Again, quickly into this set has to be the mantra here for Rabita Baku. If it gets away from them, I'm afraid that really is it.
Hung out again. Awkward angle for Rabita. She does ever so well there. Rabita's turn now to serve. Step by Naz, shallow set, but it's worked perfectly. Burhan Toksoy tucking it away. Somewhere in the crowd, we haven't seen her picked out, but we've walked past her a couple of times. Here's Kim, the legendary South Korean. He plays for Fenerbahce. She's come along to watch this final.
She'll be hoping she'll be in the Champions League next year.
MVP last year, of course,
She fired Fenerbahce onto the title. Unable to see them lift the CV Cup this year. That was a disappointing result in the midweek.
Dug out by Gizem. Glinka, touch over the top, well dug up by Kuzmanovic. But they can't keep it going, and the set wasn't good enough.
Poor setting, poor passing. Again, Kuzmanovic, you can pull out as many of those as you like, but if you can't do the simple things, it's a complete waste. Vakifbank, as far as the score's concerned, just a point ahead, but looking strong again.
Rakacevic, Montagna with the reply on this occasion. Sent by Naz, Glinka. It's going to come back into play. Rakacevic. Forced this time. Whistle's gone. (4-3) Vakifbank. Still on serve at the moment as Glinka puts one in there for Rabita. Akin Radowo sprung and hoisted her arm round to put that one down the line. Well, Gizem looked as though she wanted an appeal here, and Guidetti was just standing there pointing at the spot.
Getting the moppers on the brigade now. 4-4, it's where we were in the second set. Vakifbank, remember, going down at the first technical by 2 and then really exerting their authority.
Air Cruz. There wasn't great communication there on the Vakifbank side of the net. Castillo. Good chance this. Skorupa to Akin Radowo. Well kept alive. Rakacevic. Castillo will just have to bunt it back into play again. And then turn over the top. Brilliant play from Naz. Second time she's done it in the match. Both occasions come up with the goods.
That's what I was talking about before. When they get a chance to counter-attack, you're filled with confidence that something's going to come of it. It's that control from the very first ball, be it Gizem or another defensive player. Naz on the ball gives you a sort of serenity as well. There she didn't even have to set. Saw the chance. Bang.
Christian Fust serves then at 5-4. Cruz, Skripa, Akin Radowo being used more frequently, the American international, and to good effect. Set by Naz. Goes to, haven't seen much of her in this set. Naz goes back to her, and she's blocked well by Skorupa.
Now, big moment. Big moment for Skorupa. Injection of real confidence with that, I'm sure. Of course, as the setter, can affect the team in so many ways.
Oh, brilliant again. Just helped on its way. There'll be definite disappointment on the Rabita side of the net. Naz now serves. Pushed in there. Rabita, Skorupa, back to Rabita. Dug out well. Rakacevic was up for that early. Big opportunity missed by Kuzmanovic, but they've managed to block Ozka again, and There's a bit of a wall at the moment being put up by Rabita.
It's the first sign of something solid there that we haven't really seen throughout the match. Yesterday we saw it in flashes from Rabita up against Busto Adzizi, but it wasn't consistent. Something they need to find here. Again, confidence can do wonderful things.
It's an ace service. And we have exactly the same scenario as you had in the last set. Rabita going in at the first technical, leading by 8 points to 6. We all know what happened in the last set. Vakifbank turned it around. Are they going to be able to do the same here?
Well, it's certainly a little less predictable than we saw not too long ago. You do get, again, this serene feeling about Vakifbank, and not necessarily the fact that you know that they're going to play fantastic stuff, but they always win. 35 matches tells its own story. Yes, you can look at half of the matches in the Turkish league. The coach himself will even admit to that the standard doesn't reflect the whole breadth of teams, really. There is a problem in that there's no promotion and relegation in the Turkish league. Takes the standard down, but at the top we're talking Galatasaray, Fenerbahce, Eczacıbaşı, top European teams. The matches they played against them, all the Champions League matches, again, still not to be beaten. This is a team that will always manage to dig themselves out of any trouble. At the minute, yes, okay, they're 2 points down here. They're looking good to me. Certainly kudos to Rabita, though. They're starting to do the right things. Much more improvement needed, though.
Rabita with another good serve there. Shallow set, that did not go right once again. Toksoy missing out. Rabita sets across to Montano, just needed to guide that down the line. 3-point advantage now, first time they've had that in the match.
Again, the improvement continues, it's good.
Guidetti, I should imagine, will be thinking about calling a timeout if this point doesn't go the way of Vakifbank.
Has changes, he has Saori to bring in if he needs it.
Well, it's worked well, the tactic there of passing to Glinka from the serve, but that was a poor error, really bad set, and Kuzmanovic can only find the net.
That's unpardonable, really, for Rabita BAKU, having worked so hard to get where they are. Something as simple as that can see all the momentum fly out of your play.
Set across, Sakinradua was waiting for it. It's Montano who goes up for it. Neatly done.
It's a good change. Nice high long ball from the setter. Skorupa did well.
The communication on the Vakifbank side of the net's great at the moment. Great takedown from Castillo. Not great play from Glinka though. Opportunity to Montano. Gizem underneath that. Naz across to Glinka. She's well blocked. And the advantage is now very much going to Rabita.
Well, certainly the first question of momentum. Vakifbank appealing this. Let's have a look. Was there a touch here? For me, there wasn't.
No, I agree with you.
The decision stands. Well, this is the final, of course. Neutral observers will want things. And we'll want the team to be tested. We don't want an easy final. Vakifbank going through a period of play that's not the strongest.
Well, Guidetti called for a timeout. Susana Rodriguez has told him that the time is gone. He's not having a timeout, and he's not happy. Kozda underneath this one. They need a swift play, and Brakajevic has it.
Well, even though they didn't get the timeout, they certainly got a bit of a delay. Used a challenge up. Made Rabita think about it a bit more. A little bit of gamesmanship in there.
Pushed up and just touched over the top. Brakajevic with another great touch.
2-point swing. Okay, not quite enough to put the brakes on Rabita. Certainly a bit of a recovery after the first down period of the match, really.
Good serve. Takedowns from Castillo wasn't the best. Skorupa gets it across though, and is there a touch? The answer is no from Aurea Cruz, and a swing back in favour for Vakifbank. And well, one looks at Sir Giovanni Guidetti and you think, well, I have a feeling that Susana Rodriguez did you a favour there, mate.
Was there a touch on the net? That's the question they're asking here of the replay.
Yeah, because you're not allowed to ask if there was a touch.
Abundanza was sure of it. Now let's see.
I think he's right.
There's movement on the net. Can they see it on the camera? The referee has made his decision. Let's see what he comes up with. No touch. Good to see both coaches having a joke about it together. Ooh. I have a feeling the ref might have got that one wrong with.
Castillo underneath this one. Skorupa sets Cruz. It was tricky and it was a good block from the Fust Brakajevic combination. That's into the antenna, another point, and it's 11 apiece.
Well, again, talked about the character of Vakifbank, the calm nature of not to worry if you're one of their supporters. They've come straight back into it again. Yes, I think they've had a little help with a refereeing decision. Rabita might have the chance and opportunity to feel aggrieved. (11-11) though. Rabita BAKU wanting to change things around a little. Abundanza thought he found the magic formula a few moments ago. In conversation here with Skorupa, the setter, how to direct the game, how to go tactically from here. Of course, the set of the eyes and ears of the coach on court, and the one that's most likely and most able to carry out his plans and the designs he'll dream up at night.
And you'd have to say, at the moment, Vakifbank are just cruising through this set. They haven't done anything special. Feel if they go up through the gears once again, that they should be able to pull away.
Guidetti.
Koksai though with the wayward serve. Rabita just keep their noses in front. Could prove to be very important. If they can manage to get to the second technical out in front, they'll be delighted. They've trailed at the other two. Kuzmanovic to serve. Naz for Glinka. So much room for her to aim at.
Lovely, crisp contact with the ball as well. Brilliant. Only place she could have hit it on court. Had to go over the block as well. Not easy.
Just long. Mass disappointment amongst the Vakifbank fans once again, and there's a concerned hush around the stadium at the moment. Montagno to serve. Goes in deep, and that's not well dealt with. Great dig there Gozda. Brenda Castillo with an equally good one. Montano putting it across. Soraya Cruz got that horribly wrong.
Just shows what happens if you keep yourself in the play. Stay patient, keep composed, and that from the captain Guzda was absolutely wonderful. And look at this. They've just got themselves back from 4 points down. It's 13-all, bit of confidence back, and they have the luxury of bringing in Saori Kimura. Abundanza, by the way, hasn't been as brave in rotating his squad. Feels he's found his right starting six.
Great serve, well dug out by Castillo, set across to Cruz, and that gets enough of a touch to carry it beyond the defence. Gozda, brilliant takedown from Castillo, and hitting through the defence goes Rabajeva.
That's wonderful libero play from Brenda Castillo. Described in the Italian press as a fuori classe, a real top-class player. She is one of the best at her art, and again, demonstrating that, putting delight on her teammate's face. Big moment this for Rabita.
Managed to bring themselves back to within one.
This is the start of the period in the set where the gaps start to get important now. Happy to put themselves in front at just the right time. Vakifbank won't want to let them get out of sight. It's one of those, isn't it? It's either very good and very lucky, or looks pretty poor. For Christiana Force that time it was the latter.
16-14, first time Rabita have gone in leading at the second technical. It was 16-14 in favour of the other team previously. The Rabita players know that they stand a chance here, but they've got to take their chance. Akin Radowo with the serve, Naz with the set, and Gozda gets the touch.
That's the way they wanted to come back from that timeout. Just need one more off serve.
Rakacevic, and it's all square.
Really great stuff from Naz. I mean, wonderful weekend. She continues like this, she'll be well on her way to the Best Setter Award.
That again, shallow set that one, and Krsmanovic all over it. Gizem behind that one. Prakacevic goes cross court, finds the line.
Well, no argument from the Rabita players. Level again now. And this is where Rabita really have to concentrate, stop worrying. Perfect placement, right into the corner.
Shallow set, this time Krizmanovic is blocked, brilliantly kept alive by Rabita, but what a chance this is. Gozda and the set for Brakacevic, touch back over the net. Opportunity now goes to Montano. Oh, what a block through the middle by Montano.
Big time to bring it as well. Just getting towards the part of the match with Vakifbank leveling it up again, gathering momentum. Well, one or two mistakes could cost them the whole final here. Brilliant stuff from Montano, just the right time.
Blinker over the top, not a very good contact from Rabita, which means the advantage goes to Vakifbank, and then Cruz even fails to get it over the net.
Too many mistakes, far too many mistakes. Here's Melis.
Castillo first was up for that. That's gone long from Montano. She knows that was a massive error.
And it's probably one of the worst times in the whole match to make it as well. Vakifbank siding out now for that lead. And if they fail to make any more mistakes here, they're going to have the chance to win the match.
Another good serve, but another error. This time it's Krizmanovic going long, 2-2, and suddenly the 2-point gap. Timeout called by Amondanza, his final throw of the dice here.
Well, it's clear now, mathematically clear. They need a point off serve. If they fail to secure that, then the Champions League will belong for the second time in 3 years in the same final with Vakifbank. 20 points to 18. It's been a solid performance. They've dipped their level in this set, no doubt about it. Rabita started to cause them the odd problem, but it has been nothing like the difficulty that they've had to put them under to make them crack. Vakifbank have survived, they fought hard, and at the minute they are deservedly in the lead. Melis hardly touched the ball in the whole game. Her touches have been so important off the serve.
Melis again dipping that one in there. Femenina's underneath it. Now Montano gets across, and we've seen too little of that. Well, Krizmanovic has been outstanding in the blocking department. Must be right up there with the best of them in the tournament. Hasn't been so good from the service line though. That's a decent one, which puts pressure on Gozda, and they go for Brakacevic, who goes cross-court brilliantly. Skorupa can't keep it alive, and they nudge themselves to within 4 points. Well, serve from Brakacevic. It's a good Montano, good touch. Now kept alive. Glinka comes in and forces it through the defences of Montano and increases the lead to 3, 22-19. The Vakifbank juggernaut ploughs forth. And the crowd sense it now. Change to be made. Rabita comes back on for Femenina. Brakacevic just touches the net, set for Montano, and the block is wide. Glinka thought she'd made it.
A little bit of premature excitement there.
Very premature.
Ooh, it was close. 10 centimetres or so beyond the line. Nervous moment for Rabita, no doubt.
Further changes to be made.
There's no timeouts left, remember. And Tanya off. This is Zhukova.
Zhukova and Hubnagurun on. Set from Naz. Brakajevic from behind the line. Plenty of power on that one. Zhukova sets. Gets it away to Rabijeva. That is one back. It's now just a 1-point ball game. Timeout called by Guidetti.
Timeout by Guidetti. 2 of them in hand for him. Uses to use 1 up now. It's been simple stuff for them in the last few points. He'll be telling his girls, okay, we've got this far. We have been the superior side all weekend long. And by a comfortable margin. Remember, yet to lose a set. So this time, go out there, finish it off like you know how. Side out, and side out towards the end. They have the gap they need. Abondanza and his girls still need to make the difference.
They're hanging on in there at the moment. But it is side-out volleyball. That is all that's needed, and that's all that Guidetti would have been reinforcing to his players as they come back out here. They need to side out 3 times, and the title is theirs. Set from Naz to Glinka. Gets a touch, it's beyond Castillo. And now there are just 2 points separating them from the European crown.
Still concentration required. But I think that this sports hall is starting to realise now that there's going to be a celebration.
Glinka serve in at Castillo. Set, Takim Radowo can just touch it over. Here's another great chance. Brakajevic down the line. Castillo takes that down brilliantly, but it comes off the antenna. And it is 3 championship points. You listen to the atmosphere. Glinka to serve. Castillo underneath it. Shallow set for Akim Radowo. That's one saved. But that was the easy one. It was the one they just had to side out.
Guidetti had a great few years here. The whole arena shouting Vakifbank, everybody on their feet. 2 match points. 1 side out required.
Aurea Cruz prepares to serve. Pressure on her is immense. And Gizem has made a complete mess of it.
The player you'd least expect that to happen to with her form.
Yeah, undoubtedly the best libero of this Final Four.
Second timeout call by Guidetti. Last one in the armoury. Again, everybody in this arena on their feet. This side, just 1 single side out will do it.
They come back out onto the court then. Can Aurea Cruz keep her cool? Can the Vakifbank players keep their cool? Glinka underneath this one. Costa has to set for Glinka through the middle. Dug up by Aurea Cruz. Brenda Castillo comes flying across. Rabijeva. Gizem, now Naz gets on it, and Costa goes cross court, and there it is! Vakifbank are the European champions for the 2nd time in their history, for the 2nd time in 3 years. Turkey continue to dominate this event, and they win in Istanbul once again. It is another championship for Naz. She was part of the Fenerbahce squad last year, but they are victorious once more. No one can stop them. 36 matches in all competitions unbeaten now, and this was as emphatic as it could be.
Certainly was, and the perfect person, Captain Gusta, who's carried them psychologically and emotionally through. She's always there to be relied upon. And after a couple of nervous moments at the end, I have to say, 3-0 certainly didn't flatter them either. They had it exactly right all the way through the tournament. 2 3-0s and a perfect weekend for Vakifbank and Turkish volleyball.
And Rob, also just some real ghosts laid to rest as well after they lost against Rabita in the last occasion that they came up against each other in the World Club Championship, and they've managed to lay that to rest. They've proved they are the best team in Europe, and I don't think there really can be any doubt about it. It will be a complete fallacy if they don't come out on top of the Turkish league this season, but you never know in a knockout Final Four situation that they'll have in that competition. However, it's just so hard when you're winning this easily, and they were under pressure in that last set. They still managed to make it count. Let's remember Rabita BAKU here in the final, runners-up for the second time in 3 years. Heartbreak for them. But one would have to say that they're no closer than they were 2 years ago to picking up a title, because they have been outclassed, outplayed, outperformed, and in the end outscored by Vakifbank. Giovanni Guidetti heads off, as is his wont, into the crowd to have a chat with various members of the Vakifbank family, and the celebrations start now.
They certainly do. He's a coach that has brought huge success to this team after a few quiet years. Remember, Vakifbank moved from Ankara to Istanbul in the last decade. Huge support staff. There's a very, very friendly atmosphere. Not the biggest team in Istanbul by any stretch of the imagination, but they are the strongest and the top team as far as success has gone in the world today.
And I think you can see by the reactions of the two teams, you just look down on the bench of the Rabita players, none of them are crying really, because I think they realise that they've just been outclassed today, and there's no shame in that. If you've given your all, there is no shame in it, and they are still an exceptionally good team, and I'm sure that we'll see them back maybe in the Final Four next year.
Well, first year with their coach this year, a couple of big signings, changes of course of how they play. I think that they definitely will improve in the next 12 months or so. It's been a good year, I think, for them. When they look back on it, second in Europe's top competition, no qualms, no problems, and we'll see them again next year.
So 25-17, 25-20, 25-23 the final score in the final. Vakifbank coming out on top against Rabita BAKU by 3-0. They are the European champions 2013. We'll be picking up at the presentation ceremony in just a few moments' time.
Sana bunun görüntüsü geliyor mu? Mahmut'tan sor. Sami amca, iyi mi? Görmedim. İyi miymişiz? Kullanır mı Hakan böyle? Hakan kullanır mı böyle? Hakan diyorum, kullanır mı?
Sevgili seyirciler, 2 gündür devam etmekte olan Galatasaray Tayfa'nın ev sahipliğinde devam etmekte olan Sev Kupası Bayanlar Avrupa Şampiyonası finali sona erdi. Az sonra ödül törenlemesiyle. Ladies and gentlemen, please divide your seats. We will shortly begin the announcement ceremony for the 2013 Sev European Champions League for women. Kırmızı haneyi boşaltalım lütfen. Kırmızı halının üstünde olmayalım lütfen. Please go out the red carpet. Kırmızı halıya basıyorsunuz arkadaşlar. Halıyı çekeceğiz. İlk önce turnuvada en başarılı olan sporcuların bireysel ödülleri verilecek. Onun için şu an sporcuların da hazırlanmasını bekliyoruz ve zeminin hazırlanmasını bekliyoruz. Harikasınız. Gözden koş geçti. Bravo Gözde. Aferin güzel.
Presentation ceremony for the 2013 CEV Volleyball Champions League Final Four, and the first player to make her way out is Rosa Calderon of Galatasaray, who wins the award for the best spiker at this tournament. She receives her award from Simon Kakpalnaid. And the the one player from Galatasaray who really did excel themselves at this tournament.
Yeah, she was great all weekend. Really, really strong for them and part of what looks to be a bright future for Galatasaray.
So is it Calderon, the first to be recognised here in a number of awards. We have awards for best blocker, best server, best libero, best receiver, best setter, best scorer and the MVP. But the winner of the best blocker award goes to a member of the team that have just finished runner-up, hence the slightly sour look on her face, I should imagine. Mustafa Kara, the president of the Üsküdar municipality, is going to award this particular prize to Natasja Krsmanovic of Serbia.
Yeah, it's been a great weekend for Natasja Krsmanovic. Not the final prize that she wanted in lifting the big trophy, but personal award and personal glory is the best blocker. Some consolation.
So she stands next to Rosa Calderon. So time for the award for best server, and this goes to a member of the Busto Arsizio outfit, and well, she was outstanding with the ball in her hand from the service line over the 2 days. Marin Brinker, the German international, making her way out here after one of the longest introductions, which she seems slightly bemused about. But finally her name read out. She salutes the fans to her left, who have made a deafening amount of noise over the last couple of days.
Well, the Italian supporters have been absolutely brilliant after they're travelling over.
So it will be Jan Rek, the president of the European Referee Commission, who presents this award. Marin Brinker, the only German to be recognised in the individual awards anyway. She also has a bronze medal to pick up a little later on, along with all of her teammates after their thrilling 3-2 win over Galatasaray a little earlier on today. So Marin Brinker, the third, onto the podium step here. However, imagine that this will pick up one of the biggest roars so far this afternoon, because the award for the best libero is going to go, it's the first of 3 awards going the way of Vakifbank players. It goes to Gizem. You can already hear her chanting, or hear them chanting her name here. Abuhan Felek. She was outstanding in both straight sets victories that were enjoyed by Vakifbank, and picking up this award quite rightly.
Over the course of the Champions League season, I have not seen a libero that is there more often, with more control, and who gives a great relaxed atmosphere to a team in defence. She has been superb, and for me now, she's right up there with the best in the world.
So Gizem receiving her award from Riet Üms, the president of the European Cups Commission, and she becomes our fourth honoured player here. So best receiver will be another hugely popular victor, because it's going to go to another Galatasaray player, Yuko Sano of Japan. Bronze medalist at the London Olympics last year. She's won pretty much everything there is to win at home in Japan, but this is her first accolade in the Champions League arena.
As you can hear, she's extremely popular here with all the supporters, certainly those of Galatasaray. come in and try to make a mark on the team in just a few months.
First time she's picked up the Best Receiver award in this competition. Best Libero, of course, back in 2006 when she was playing for Cannes. That is another individual award, and it's presented by Sinem Mavili, the CEV Vice President. So Yuko Sano, the 5th player recognised as far as individual awards are concerned here. As you can tell by the reaction here, it's going to be another home favourite who is to receive our next award, Best Setter. And it was a tough category, it has to be said. But Naz Aydemir, who didn't have her greatest performance for Vakifbank in the match against Galatasaray yesterday, certainly made up for it with her performance in the final today. She is the best setter at this year's CEV Champions League Final Four. And that goes along with the Best Setter award she won last year.
Exactly 2 years on a row. I wouldn't personally say she's the best setter up there in the world, but she's certainly in the top category. 2 years in a row, Champions League finals, top setter. Can't argue with those awards. Fenerbahce, recipients of her work yesterday. And it's nice to see her thanking her coaching staff for this award as well.
Making his way forward, Agustin Martin Santos, the CEV Vice President.
He's alongside Banu Chan Shurman. Both CEV Vice Presidents, of course.
So the Best Scorer award, and I think this is definitely some, well, hopefully it will be some recompense for this performance, because she was outstanding yesterday. I don't think she had her best game today, but Madeleine Montagno of Colombia was the outstanding scorer yesterday. Anyone who scores 43 points in a match has to be right at the top of their game, and that's exactly what she achieved against Busto Arsizio. And so it is another individual award for Rabita BAKU.
Yeah, Madeleine Montagno has been excellent. Again, so good to watch yesterday, so strong, raining down the point. Such a pity for Rabita that she couldn't quite get up to a top level today. But again, good to see a smile on her face, and good to see, as Jonathan suggested, finally some recognition for her good work. Well, Andre Meyer along, CEV President. Alongside Hassan Under, who's the CEO of our sponsors Daikin.
So the final award is for MVP of the tournament. I don't think there was ever very much doubt about this after her performance in yesterday's semi-finals, backed up with another supreme performance in today's finals. Jovana Brakacevic has been outstanding throughout this entire competition. It's been outstanding since arriving at Vakifbank as well. And this is a reward that really encapsulates a full season.
Yeah, congratulations to Brakacevic. Superb first year, highly appreciated, and of course at her age she can only go on to bigger and better things as well. More hugs for the Vakifbank coaching staff. And this is the big award, of course, as far as individual awards are concerned. So Andre Meyer, the CEV President, comes back to present it.
So as the Radetsky march comes to a halt, Jovana Bragajovic will take her place on the podium, but soon she will be entering once again as a European champion.
Well, the individual awards then.
Grand March from Aida now for them. It's been a veritable collection of classical greats played over the top.
We've had them all the last 20 minutes or so. And of course with the team presentation still to come.
What march do you think he's going to come up with for them to stroll on to for the actual awards and the final podium here? So the medals are ready, as is the CV Champions League Cup. And Vakifbank are going to be getting their hands on it for a second time in 3 years. And as Rob was telling you earlier, we really have seen the power shift to the east. Turkey, undoubtedly the powerhouse at the moment. This is their third Champions League in a row. Azerbaijan are getting closer, but on the evidence of today's final, they're still quite a way off.
Well, they have the money, they have the power. They don't quite have the volleyball culture yet that's here in Turkey. But I'm sure that prizes will come.
The other issue that I think lies with them at the moment is the fact that they need to retain players. They need to retain their squads for longer. It's all very well bringing over high quality, high class players for a season or maybe two, but at the moment they're struggling to keep them out there in Azerbaijan for any longer. So the teams, Vakifbank now in their home strip of yellow and black, making their way out to the winners' podium, joined by Rabita BAKU in red and Yunendo Yamame, Busto Adzizio also in red as they prepare to get on to that bronze medal podium.
Good to see them all lined up and ready to receive their prizes. Busto Adzizio's first. CV Cup winners twice in the last 3 years, of course. And here amongst the top ladies.
Well, an exceptional squad just running through them. Julianne Fawcett, Alice De Gradi, Carly Lloyd, Marin Brinker, Vittoria Prandi, Giulia Leonardi, Francesca Marcon, Christina Bauer, the skipper, and Ilaria Spirito, Margareta Anna Kozuch, Gilda Lombardo, Viola Tonello, Valentina Arighetti once again here at the final four. Valeria Caracuta, Veronica Tabarelli, Giulia Pisani and Veronica Visconti. Their full squad for this CV Cup season. Carlo Parisi, well, I think he can be very proud by what they've achieved this year. It was their debut in the competition and they have ended up with a bronze medal.
Great effort coming to the final four. Parisi said he didn't expect it. Good mix of experience and promising players. Need to work on playing those big moments. Their shape's certainly been good over the last few days. Shaped up to play well. But again, concentration at the big moments in a match. Really something that they need to get right.
Well, if they can keep this squad together, they stand every chance of doing that. It's a promising squad. It's got good mixture of experience and youth, and they also have outstanding international talent with the likes of Brinker and Kozuch offering them, well, plenty of options, but they have good homegrown talent in that team as well.
And no shortage of talent in the squad. On to the Azeris. The next really big challenge for Azeri volleyball is to get Azeri players into those squads. Get the feeling, get the representation of the country there. All international players, all foreign players. It's hard, it will take time, but the investment needs to continue. Second place for Rabita BAKU again, 2 times in 3 years. Again, showing the strength lies in their lead.
Take a look there as Glinka is reunited with her daughter. That reason that she dropped out of the game for a few years, of course. Dobriana Rabadzieva, Angelina Hubner-Grund, Katarzyna Skorupa, Nastasia Krizmanovic, Madeleine Montano, Oria Cruz, Brenda Castillo, Alexandra Femina, Katarina Zakruskaya, Mira Golubovic, Sanja Starovic, Foluke Akin Radowo, Irina Zukova and Susanna Sebic, the players representing Rabita BAKU, Bulgaria, Germany, Poland, Serbia, Colombia, Puerto Rico, Dominican Republic, France, Belarus, United States of America and Ukraine, the countries represented in that eclectic squad. Marcello Abondanza, of course, the coach. How long will he stay there?
So medals presented. What about the winners? Now to go through the Vakifbank squad. Dilek Kinik, Gözde Sonusirma, Gizem Gurashen, Surla Chalshkan, Ergul Avci, Giovanna Brakocevic, Margorzata Glinka, Melis Güryaynak, Tücce Ocalu, Güldeniz Önal, Bahar Tuksoy, Christiana Fürst, Pulen Üslü-Pelivan, injured this weekend, not taking part, Naz Aydemir and Saori Kimura. A very, very talented squad who has got everything that it has deserved for such a hard year's work. 36 matches unbeaten, and I have to say now that I really hope that they go on and do the treble, because it's fair to say it's hard to believe that they'll ever have another season as successful as this one in terms of victories versus 0 defeats.
It is hard to see, but at the same time, this has been a really outstanding performance, unbeaten throughout their entire Champions League campaign.
Well, Naz again directing operations, and the setter's position, they've been brilliant. Glinka provides experience, of course. Youngsters such as Melis coming into the team. Dilek as well. And it's a gold medal for Vakifbank Istanbul. The Queens of Europe for the second time in 3 years. Also means they'll be going back once again to the World Club Championship, which is expected to take place in October. New venue rumoured. Wait for the FIVB to decide upon that one. Well, Rabita BAKU can also expect to return. Previous winners, second here, likely that they'll get the wild card. Christiana Forster receiving her medal as Bahar Tuksoy celebrates. The Vakifbank champions. And we're about to see the cup presented. Giovanni Guidetti gets his hands on it first, or at least tries to do. No containing his excitement.
Players
medals for his coaching staff.
Players seem quite satisfied to wait on the side there at the moment. Finally, the cup makes its way towards Gozda and her teammates. Hoisted aloft, Vakifbank 2013 CV Women's Champions League champions. The second time in 3 years. Turkish dominance continues, and at present it is hard to see a stop being brought to that dominance that they are enjoying in this event. Thank you very much to everyone who's watched here with us here with Sportsman in Istanbul. That concludes our coverage for 2013 with Vakifbank as the champions.
Sevgili seyirciler, Vakifbank'ımızın Avrupa Şampiyonluğunu bir kez daha kutluyoruz ve